Hey, voice actors, want to change the world? You can.
Speechless. Speechless.
Hi, I'm Kim Wilson,
And I'm Natasha Marchewka.
and this is Speechless. Welcome to our behind the scenes take on real life in VO, where we share our stories and our resources and our unsolicited opinions.
Hi, everybody. We have a
Mhm.
great show for you today. And I know I always say it and pat ourselves on the back because we
But
have
this
great
one will give you
shows.
tingles.
It will. It'll give you shivers, goosebumps. We're introducing you today to 100 Voices Who Care. And it's honestly an opportunity to make effortless effort. What does that mean? Do some major great things, majorly grammar out the window, some wonderful things with very little effort. That's what I'm trying to say.
Ooh.
So meet these gals, Danielle Famble and Jennifer Clark, who are heading up 100 Voices Who Care.
And change the world.
Hi, gals. So happy to have you here today. Oh my gosh, we love seeing your beautiful faces. We're going to start off with a toast. So, Danielle, do you want to tell us what you brought to drink today for your speechless debut?
I will say that I'm one of those people that is a one coffee a day, but it gets heated up multiple times. So I've got
Okay.
my original
Nice.
coffee from this morning, and I'm still
What is it, like
enjoying
4 o'clock there? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
No
still
judgment.
working
It's
on
fine.
it.
Well,
Still
I
working
do
on
it.
it.
I do a half a cup and then a half a cup, so I don't have to warm it up. I just make another half a cup. Jennifer, what did you bring today?
It's a little bit boring, but it's called Lemon Perfect.
Oh,
It's water,
mhm,
0 sugar, and the
mhm,
flavor is I can't talk. I've been talking all day.
mm.
Dragon fruit mango.
Oh, okay.
what?
And it has a
Okay.
lid
Delicious.
because it's in my booth. And I try to obey my own rules.
Yeah, good.
Oh God, you're putting me to shame. I have an open drink, which is probably, I should call it an open casket. This is what I made up. It's a drink I made up. It's called the Tasty and Anxious. It's some kind of an orange,
I thought
whether
your
it be
husband made
sumo.
that up. Did you make it up?
I made it up. Well, he made up the drink. I
You made the
named
name.
it.
You named it.
Yeah. It's usually clementine, lemon, a little vodka, and seltzer. This one is sumo orange, lemon, vodka.
Mm,
Yeah. Mm.
yum.
Mm. Mm.
Well, I am the loser today. Wah, wah, wah. I have water, but it is in my branded Yeti mug from Celia Siegel Management.
Ooh,
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, cheers.
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 Cheers, gals.
Take a sip. I'll tell you
So
if
great
it's
to have you
good.
here. So Danielle and Jennifer
Mm.
are taking the reins on the organization that we mentioned already, called 100 Voices Who Care. Now, here's the thing. Before we get into all the deets of 100 Voices Who Care, it started as 100 Women Who Care as an organization. Did you know that, Danielle and
I
Jennifer?
had no idea. I didn't know
Oh,
that.
Jennifer knew. Yeah.
That's very cool.
There might be 100 men who care, but I'm not going to go
Never
there.
mind.
Okay.
I mean, the joke writes itself. Don't do it. Don't do it.
The joke writes itself.
So I did find that there are 100 plus women who care chapters just in Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh. This is a
Yeah.
national.
It's
national.
international.
It's
Mhm.
a
Oh
huge
my
thing.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us more. I can't wait to I can't wait to hear more. Okay.
Well, what do you know? What do you know about the organization itself? The Women Who Care, Jennifer. Do you know more
Well,
that you
what
can
I
share
know
with
is
us?
that this is a big umbrella.
Mm,
So, and these are organic groups called 100 Who Care, and you can
mhm,
insert whatever adjective you would like. We are 100 Voices Who Care,
mhm,
but a lot of them are local to their region. So people will say, "I want to join my 100 Who Care in Kansas City," and
Right.
they're focused on that particular area. So yeah, this is international. There's tons of 100 Who Care groups all over.
Wow.
So a big difference between 100 Voices Who Care is that we're not in a local place. Well, it could be global, right? It's
Mhm.
North American right now. Is it global as well? Are there people from other countries?
At this point, it's
the group?
just North America.
Not quite
Okay.
yet.
Well,
So,
But we're
after
working on
this
it.
podcast, it'll be worldwide.
so I do have a question though. You guys still haven't defined what it is.
Ah,
Yeah,
so this is a great opportunity. Jennifer, do you want to start with what it means? 100
sure.
whatevers who care?
Yeah. Well, we're 100 Voices Who Care. So we're a group of voice actors who are trying to make a difference in our local communities by supporting local nonprofits. And
That
what that means is that we commit to give $100 per quarter
Per
to a local
person?
nonprofit that is pitched by a member of our group. And then our collective generosity goes to whichever nonprofit wins that quarter, wins the
uh,
majority vote. And so the idea is that my $100 can make a little dent in a local nonprofit, but our collective generosity can really make an impact for small nonprofits that are trying to help their communities.
wow.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
I
when you
totally have
have,
chills. I think this is incredible. This is a
It is.
great, great group.
so there's
It is.
still room in 100 Voices Who Care. And we really want to encourage you to join.
Mm.
And we'll be talking about that throughout the show. Um, but it's super simple. Danielle, do you want to tell our audience what is expected of someone when they join the group?
So basically, being a member of the group, you are expected and encouraged to invite friends, show up to our quarterly meeting. So there's only 4 meetings per year, and we get together. And on those meetings, that's when we find local organizations and pitch the group. So the idea is also between those meetings, start looking around in your community for who's doing a lot of good in your community. Because the idea is that we collectively want to do a whole lot of good in the world by um, getting our money together, pooling our money so that we can give it to local nonprofits. And we say local nonprofits because it's not a big national charity. It's not the Red Cross or anything like that. It's who's doing a lot of good in your neighborhood, in your community, where you can inject love and positivity and a financial gift where it's going to do a lot more good, in your own backyard. So show up to the meetings, find local nonprofits, learn about them, and then pitch them to the group, and then bring your friends so that they can help and join along with the rest of the 100 Voices Who Care.
This is what
Right.
I love about this idea is the local giving.
Yeah.
When you give your money to the Red Cross, and those are wonderful, no hate on any of the big national nonprofits, but you don't see your dollars at work. You
Yeah.
don't really know what your specific dollar is going to. And by keeping it local, wow, what a difference.
Yeah.
You can see immediate relief to people and help. I love that. I think it's really
So
cool.
you did enlighten me on one meeting in that it doesn't have to be local to your community. It can be
Right.
another local organization anywhere in the nation or
Yeah.
what
Anywhere in the
have you.
world. Yeah.
Anywhere in the world.
Because
Anywhere
I
in the world.
struggled because I live in LA. There's, it's a pretty big place with pretty big charities, and I don't have any necessarily that I'm hooked into here.
Hmm.
So yeah, okay. So one more thing I want to back up. So as a member, you're giving your time, which is a very short meeting 4 times a year, I must say.
Pretty easy.
And if you can't show up, that's okay too, but it's preferable if you do. And also there's a buy-in, and it's very small in a big sense as well. So Jennifer, explain how the members contribute.
Yeah. So I want to start with there is no membership fee. There are no dues. You literally never pay anything
Mm,
except for your donation. And 100% of what you are giving goes to that charity.
charity.
So,
Wow.
yeah, we ask that there be a $100 contribution per quarter. So that's $400 a year. And I do think that there is a $2 processing fee on
Mm,
the website that we use. We have a third party called Grapevine that handles all of the finances. So Danielle and I never do any of that. It's Grapevine that handles that. They also vet the local nonprofit that
Oh,
we
wow.
have chosen. So they
Wow.
make sure that that nonprofit is in good standing with the IRS,
Okay.
that they are an actual registered 501c3. And so we as members can be confident that our money is going toward someone who's going to steward it well.
That's
Wow.
awesome. That's so
That
awesome.
is incredible.
And
Then,
it's super easy because you can sign up for automatic payments and then you literally don't have to
Don't
worry
touch
about it.
yeah,
You
you don't
just
touch
show
it.
up, you vote, and then it's taken out of your credit
Mhm.
card or your bank, whatever, however you set that up. So
And we'll
it's
talk about the voting
easy.
process as well. But we're going to encourage our listeners to please join because we want to get up to 100. So then there's how much money? I can't do the math. 100 times 100,
$10,000.
$10,000.
$10,000 per quarter.
For a
Wow.
And
charity,
that's
one
actually
charity will get 10,000.
that's
That's
a really good
huge.
point. Exactly. So you think about like, okay, I'm giving $100 and it feels like a drop in the bucket, but a $10,000 gift
Incredible.
every quarter
Mhm.
to a local nonprofit where that money really can be stretched far. I mean, if you think about it, like the heart and the gift that's giving to these local organizations who probably don't even get those kind of donations that often.
Right?
I
Oh
mean,
my
you are
gosh.
doing so much good in the world, in your local community, for your neighbors, for the other voice actors, for their neighbors. I mean, it's really, when you think about it, from not just from yourself, but for the rest of the community, it's
Mhm.
huge. I mean, it's a
It's so
huge
huge.
gift that we're giving.
Yeah.
Wow. Just to be a
So
part of it is so special.
Yeah.
since we're sort of midway through, please tell us the link. It is in our resources below on all the platforms we're on, but tell everyone verbally what the link is to go to join 100 Voices Who Care.
Yeah, we'll put the specific link in the show notes, but
Okay.
it's grapevine.org, and then you'll search 100 Voices Who Care.
Oh, okay.
But the link that we'll give you for this in the show notes will go directly to our little profile on
Okay.
grapevine.org.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you
Perfect.
so much.
Yay.
Yay.
So we must give credit to Claire Dinsdale because I know in the voiceover community, she pulled this together or she initiated this based on 100 Women
Mm.
Who Care. And I
Mm.
remember she was at VO Atlanta one year and she sat in the exhibition hall.
I remember.
Were you sitting with her, Jennifer? Someone else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, what is this? What's going on? And I'd already heard of 100 Women Who Care. So I got the idea of it. So Claire ran it for how many years? Then 3 or
Almost 3
And it was about,
years. We
yeah,
started
3
in
years.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
so what inspired you guys to take it over?
I'm
Go
be
ahead,
honest.
Danielle.
It was Jennifer. Just be honest.
I begged her.
Oh, you begged Danielle, did
No.
you?
Uh,
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it die.
Mm.
Because Claire needed to leave
Claire
after
needed to
need
hand over
some
leadership because of other stuff on her plate, and
Sure.
3 years is a long time.
it is a long time.
Mhm.
And you know, any volunteer position, it's just an
Yeah.
added thing. And I told Claire I would love to do it. I just don't want to do it by myself. And so I looked around and I was like, I want Danielle.
Yeah. I love
And
it.
let me tell you, this lady has her stuff together.
Wow.
But just
Wow.
has the biggest heart for it too, and
Mm.
administration skills and all of that. So yeah, we decided for us, this will be like a 2-year leadership role, and then we'll pass it off to someone else. And our hope is that it can continue going. We're trying to put some things in place to make it really easy to hand over,
Sure.
building some structure and all of
Well,
that. So
let's get you some new members. Let's get you some more members so we have
Yeah.
a lot to draw on.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the organizations you've donated to over the past couple years,
mhm.
just for inspiration?
I think, I would say there's kind of been a theme for helping women and children specifically. I can kind
Mm.
of do a bit of a through line. And it really is what is important to the members, and the members finding local organizations to pitch to 100 Voices Who Care, to our
Right.
group.
Right.
But our last quarter give, we donated to CCBI, which Jennifer helped me with that. It's
The Children's
The-
Center for Visually Impaired.
Thank you. And it's in Kansas City.
It's amazing.
So helping out children who are helping out children who are visually impaired. The quarter before that was to the York Street Project, which is here in Jersey City, where I live. And they help women and children who are experiencing homelessness and poverty. We've also given a donation to NAVA to help with the travel costs for NAVA leadership to go and speak on our behalf as voice actors at the
Wonderful.
Capitol. So it's been a lot of it's varied, but again, it's going to the membership and asking the members who or what organizations in your neighborhood do you feel like we could do the most good for? And so it's usually got a theme in that way.
Okay,
We're going to
wonderful.
take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about why there may or may not be a lot of crying at the meetings. Okay, we'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Just jumping in with our promo. You know, our in-show promo that we do every episode. Hey, a few things. First of all, we currently have, if you're seeing this in the future and it's different, please forgive us, but we currently have 994 subscribers. And let me tell you who the last subscriber was, by the way. The last subscriber to our Speechless VO YouTube page was Pearl from SpongeBob.
Hello, Lori Allen.
Yeah. So get in good company with her, subscribe to our YouTube page, and the 1,000th subscriber is going to win something from Speechless.
Mm-hmm.
So
Our
get on
prizes
in
are
there and subscribe.
nice.
They are nice. We have a lot in the cabinet. In the meantime, don't forget about our Speechless VO planner. It says 2025, but please know that the planning pages, they're undated. And it's full of resources and full of goal-setting cues, etc. for journaling. And also, I want to remind you, if you haven't been to our YouTube page lately, which, by the way, is at Speechless VO, we have our episodes. We have our episodes organized into categories. So you can actually see how-to episodes, most popular episodes, casting series, VO tools, etc.
Coaching.
etc. Yeah. All right, back to the show. Okay, so we're back. And what I do want to share with our audience, not only that they have to be at meetings and that they don't have to, but that's what's requested, and that they're paying $100 every quarter. But also, what does it mean to pitch? So I'm going to say from my experience, because I have been part of the organization for, I think, a couple of years now, at least a year, if not two. The people who pitch all have a great charity to share. So my experience has been there's about 2 or 3 people that pitch. And so you're pitching a nonprofit, but you also want to win. You want your nonprofit to win. And so the ones that don't, I'm sad for, and maybe a tear was shed. I think it was the first meeting I went to, though, that Jennifer pitched a local food bank, and I was crying and crying. So can one of you please explain what that means to pitch? How do people get their head around, okay, how do I do that? What does this mean?
Yeah, we've tried to make pitching very easy. So we've created a template of questions that our members can email to the local nonprofit to say, hey, I would like to pitch you at my group, 100 Voices Who Care. You literally are just filling in blanks and in that email. And so what we have to remember is that nonprofits are constantly looking for grants. They're writing grants, they are applying for this kind of stuff. So it's not an inconvenience for them. There is usually someone on staff whose job it is to do this and answer these questions. So in my experience, I've pitched, I don't know, like 4 or 5 groups.
She's the queen of pitching. I'll tell you that much right now. She's going to be humble about it. I'm not going to be humble for her.
I really love it. I love it.
It's great.
But they respond so quickly. It's like, wow, you have a chance to give us money? Yes, here's all the answers to your questions. And so then you kind of just look over those questions. And what I do is I just highlight parts of their answers. And then when it's time to pitch,
Mm.
I'm just basically reading or kind of reading what they've already given me. So again, we're trying to make this really easy, like low. It's high commitment, but low effort on our part to make a
Yeah.
huge difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of
It's
the
so
things with
exciting.
pitching, the thing with pitching is it's you know, if you want to tell someone about this amazing organization that you just found, it really is telling the story of who they are, what they do, who they help, who they serve. I pitched York Street Project, and I was looking for organizations in my area that were important to me. I really care about, you know, women and children, people of color, and who I can help, you know, who can we serve. And so I had a Zoom conversation with one of the ladies who's over giving, and she explained to me in that conversation, just talking human to human about what it is they do and why. And once you understand the story, then you can go and tell that story to somebody else. So the pitch isn't really about like, yeah, I want to win. It's really, I want to share. Like, let me tell you about this place that's so amazing and they're doing so much good. And then getting the buy-in from the rest of the group, the 100 Voices Who Care, to say, yeah, I totally agree with that vision. Let's give to that organization. So it's not even about like pitching for the sake of the competition. It's really about figuring out the story and sharing the story to the rest of the group so that we can all get as excited about them as you are.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well,
The
and the good
great,
news is you can repitch.
Yeah.
So another meeting comes and your charity didn't win the pitch, you can repitch at another meeting. So that's a great
one of the
opportunity.
great things too, Danielle has been in person to York Street Project now, and she's,
Wow.
you know, doing stuff, physically doing things to help them. And I think, you know, circling back to the beginning of our conversation, this is where we get to actually see the organizations that we're supporting doing the good work. So it's really cool to make connections. Can I share about our very first give?
Please, please.
Please.
When we started in 2022, I pitched a local nonprofit here in Kansas City called the Grooming Project, and they're now renamed Prosperity. But this is a nonprofit that is devoted to helping families become self-reliant through job training. And they train their students in the high demand trade of pet grooming. So so that they can make good money. And most of their students have been incarcerated, have addiction problems, have been homeless. And so this organization is literally changing people's lives. And
Wow.
my dog groomer, here's the cool story. My dog groomer graduated from Prosperity. She was in the first
Oh,
graduating class.
stop.
And she was so successful that she took over the management of the salon of this organization. So they have a salon so that they can make money for their nonprofit. And
Wow.
she managed that for a few years. And just last June, she bought the salon because she was so successful. She took everyone with her with the full blessing of Prosperity. And she now has a thriving grooming business here in the suburb that I live in. And it's to see that kind of life change and to see her, you know, she was extended this opportunity and now she is giving that to everyone that she possibly can. So it's just beautiful to be a part of and to see that in real life.
Yeah. Incredible.
I'm pretty sure this is the feel-good show of the entire
Speechless life.
speechless lifespan,
ma'am.
right? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know,
So
we
special.
need that right now, right?
Yeah, we
Like
do.
things are not great, let's just say.
Yeah.
And sometimes you feel helpless. But seeing these organizations that are doing the work, putting the work in and day out to do something good for humanity, it feels good. You can sit back and you can watch the news and you can think, oh gosh, everything is terrible. But then you're not doing anything. But if you
Right.
can take a little bit of action, if you can
Mm-hmm.
have a human conversation with someone who's also doing good, then you can maybe feel like, okay, I'm doing something. It feels like you're having a little bit of forward momentum.
Yeah.
And again, it really is local. It doesn't necessarily need to be local to where you live, but
Mm-hmm.
it is local, and it is helping out people that you could see on a daily basis. That's what I need right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think, a lot of people in the organization, in with 100 Voices Who Care, also need that too. Just to feel
Yeah.
like you're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's going to lead me perfectly into this question. And we didn't share about your background. So let's do just a mini little bio from both of you and how this organization has changed your life, however big or small, how it's changed your life. So who wants to go first? Tell us a bit about your VO journey, your voiceover journey.
I'll go first. I
Okay.
volunteer as tribute.
Oh,
Uh,
Danielle.
my name is Danielle Famble. I live in Jersey City, New Jersey, just outside of New York City. I've lived here for actually, it's been 17 years that I
Oh,
moved
wow.
to the New York City area.
Wow.
Um, and I get reminded by my nephew, who is 17, and I moved when he was born.
Oh.
So
Wow.
it hurts. Anyway, I moved to New York because I wanted to do musical theater. And I just knew
Cool.
that performing and being on Broadway that was what I wanted to do. And as time went on, I knew about voiceover, but I knew that it was also a tough industry to get into. And I had a
Hmm.
friend who was doing VO, and I just kind of always kept asking her, like, how do you do it? What classes do you take? And I transitioned to voiceover during the pandemic, actually. I had all of the equipment, but not really the time because I was working two jobs and we were sheltering in place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
all those, we're all in this together, and everything else, that's kind of where I really got my footing in voiceover, although I had an acting background. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and I'm full time in voiceover as of
And doing
2021.
very well, I
Thank
might
you.
add. She wouldn't say that, but
Oh,
Danielle
Um,
Yes.
kills it.
I
She's on fire.
I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But with 100 Voices Who Care, it came, just knowing Claire and seeing her heart and her spirit.
Mm.
And I was interested. And so I talked to her a little bit more about it. And I thought it was really interesting. I grew up a preacher's kid. My dad is a preacher, and we were first in, last out at church. And
Mm-hmm.
we would always do something, especially around the holidays, as a way to be of service to our community.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's something that I've done basically my entire life, and
Right.
finding ways that I can be of service to my community is really something that's always been part of me. And so
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
100 Voices Who Care just fit perfectly with that. And I wanted to help with the membership and actually help with leadership with Jennifer, because I didn't want to be by myself either. Um, because I saw a need to do something and to step up, and I didn't want to see the organization, the group, go away. And
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to be the one you're looking
The
for.
person. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
What a
why
great
I
quote.
said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much.
Mm. That was beautiful.
And what about you, Jennifer? What's your mini bio and all that this has brought to your life?
Yeah, my short VO story is that I've wanted to do it my whole life since I heard Ariel was a real person, like Jodie Benson was the voice of the Little Mermaid. But life took me a different way, and it was 2019 that my youngest was going to be entering kindergarten the next year. Well, jokes on us, nobody went to school,
Mm,
but
Oh, right.
but I thought it's now or never. I have to try, and so it just kind of snowballed, and the learning, the demo production, all of that, and I booked my first job a week before COVID shut the country
Oh
down.
my gosh.
So it was
What?
very providential. I had everything in place.
Right.
I was still learning a ton,
Yeah.
but and have just been grinding since March of 2020. So
Yes.
Wow.
yeah, it's
What a
been
journey you've
a
had.
thrill. It's been a
Yeah.
thrill.
Yeah.
But I think 100 Voices Who Care, similar to Danielle, is just very in alignment with who I am and how I've been raised. We didn't know that we were both preachers' kids,
Yeah.
but
Oh my
until
God.
a couple meetings ago, we were talking afterwards. I was like, "What? No way!" But
Mhm.
to me, it's like, everybody has different motivation for
Yeah.
wanting to make a difference.
Mhm.
Mine is my faith, and it's like, if my faith doesn't have action, what's the point? Like,
Mm.
Mhm.
so for me, that's where it all stems from. But it's like, this is something that, like I said, low effort, huge
Mhm.
impact. And
Right.
I'm all about that. Like, we're all busy. We all got
Mhm.
stuff to do.
Mhm.
And this isn't meant to add one more thing to your plate. It's meant to be an invitation for you to come make a difference with a bunch of people that are awesome.
Amen.
I love that.
Well,
Yeah.
and Jennifer told us when we weren't recording
Ah,
that she has a podcast, and I want to hear all about it so we can share it with our listeners.
yeah.
Thank you. That's really kind. It's called Human Kindness at Work. And this is a 20-minute episode podcast of short, inspiring stories of people that are making a difference in their corner of the world.
Mm.
So I started in January, and it's
Mhm.
every other Monday. I was going to tell you that one of my most recent guests, we were talking about making a difference with our ordinary work. And his name's Chris Chandler. And I think he said it really well, that he said, the exhausting way to think about making a difference is to fly in as Superman
Mm.
with the weight of all of that on your shoulders, to be the
Mhm.
hero, to do it
Mhm.
all, shoulder it all. But when we instead do that as a community and we share that
Mm.
burden, that responsibility to make a difference, then our work is not only more meaningful, but change is actually possible.
Mm.
And I thought
Mhm.
that was a beautiful way to talk about making a difference.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Grapevine.org/100 Voices Who Care. Gals, thank you so much for being here, and cheers to you and all that you do and
Yes.
all your
Cheers.
contributions.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Speechless.